Hi, I'm Jen from KetoCookingWins.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make my amazing pizza casserole. Everybody loves this dish. Not only has it got all your favorite pizza flavors in it in casserole form, but it's meaty, it's cheesy, and it's super low in carbs. It's also easy to make. We're going to have this on the table in under 30 minutes. So I'm going to get set up to show you how to make this, so come on back. All right, so let's get started making this amazing pizza casserole. Now, I gotta warn you guys, I'm feeling particularly klutzy in the kitchen today and food has been flying, so just be warned. You may see Swedish chef action today, I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna heat up my burner. And while that's going, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the ingredients that we're gonna use today. I've got a couple of Italian sausage here. I like it using a spicy Italian sausage. It just gives the whole dish a little bit more flavor and a little bit of a kick. I've got 1 cup of pizzas. I've got 1 cup of keto-friendly tomato sauce. I'm making my own. I'll link that recipe below for you. Make your own. Save yourself the bucks on those expensive jarred products that all they don't have in them is sugar. There's nothing else special about them. They just don't add any sugar. And then they charge you 4 times. I've got pepperoni. Can't have pizza casserole without pepperoni. Ground beef. I've got garlic, sliced onion, green pepper, lots of cheese, and mushrooms. Normally I would also put olives in this, but I'm out of olives and I did not feel like running to the store just to get olives. So this should be hot enough. I'm going to start the meat in there. We want it to start browning. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to show you what we do with the sausage. You can buy it in bulk and save yourself this step, but you want to remove the casing on the sausage. So grab your sausage and a sharp knife and just slit down the sausage, cutting through the casing, which you can then just peel right off. Don't put that in your casserole, it's no bueno. Do the same thing with the other one. There we go. So someone said to me, Chef Jen, I don't like spicy Italian sausage, what can I use? I say use whatever you got. You know, if you've got garlic sausage, use it. Mild, sweet Italian sausage, use it. Use whatever you got. Breakfast sausage will work. And you know what? If you don't like sausage, don't use it either. Now, I need a spatula. Break this up. So basically, we're looking for our meat to be browned and cooked. We're going to put everything, we're going to build our casserole entirely in this skillet. In goes the sausage. Oh, not the casings. Get that out of the way. And then just use your spatula or flipper or spoon or whatever you're using in here just to break up the chunks of sausage. That's it. So we're going to let this cook for a minute or 2, and then I'm going to come on back when it's all brown and we'll go on to the next step. All right, so this is moving along quite nicely. Got lots of heat in there, breaking up the chunks as I go. You know, if you use fresh ground beef, you've got less chunks to break up. This ground beef I had frozen and I thawed it. And so once you've frozen and thawed it, it tends to clump up a little bit more together. So you just got to be patient, work through it, break up the chunks, and it'll be delicious. And it already smells so good in here. I think I might be a little hungry. Okay, so it's not quite browned all the way yet, but that's fine. We're going to add our onion because it needs time to cook. I've got about half a cup of sliced onion in there. And I'm going to add some garlic. You can't go without garlic. So you can also use garlic powder. I'd use about a teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. Again, about a teaspoon of onion powder in there will do the trick. I'm going to let this cook just a little bit more. And in the meantime, I am going to season it with salt and pepper which is not in reach because I am super klutzy and unorganized cooking today. So give me 1 minute while I find those. All right, here goes the salt. Give it about a teaspoon, maybe start with half a teaspoon of salt. Meat needs a fair bit of salt in there to get cooking. There is some salt in the sausage, but that ground beef, you know, it's gonna need some salt. And especially if you're using a homemade spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce that you didn't already season, it's gonna need a fair bit of seasoning in there. All right, so onions are a little bit higher in carbs. If you're doing strict keto or you're counting your carbs, just skip the onions. Like I said earlier, you could use onion powder. There's still some carbs in onion powder, but not as many, and you'll still get lots of flavor. If I had olives, I would be adding them just about now, but I do have mushrooms, so I'm going to add the mushrooms. I've got about a cup of sliced mushrooms that we're going to add to this. Help it cook down. I'm not draining the meat just yet because there's a fair bit of fat in that meat that's going to help my veggies cook. There's also some liquid in the meat, which I want to evaporate and leave its flavor behind. If I just pull, oh, stay on, no. If you just drain the meat right now, you're just taking out all of that flavor, but we're going to let it evaporate. And so the water content will evaporate and leave behind the flavor. That's what we're looking for, is all that good flavor. I did use lean ground beef, and the sausage I used is fairly lean. So it's up to you whether or not you pull out any fat that there may be. Oh, I tell you, this thing's like rocket science. All right, on. It's an induction burner, which is, you know, they're really safe and handy, but a little temperamental. There she goes. Starting to sizzle. That's good. All right, we're just gonna let that sizzle out for a couple of minutes and let that liquid evaporate some. All right, so most of the liquid has evaporated. That was maybe 3 or 4 minutes, something like that. I'm gonna take a couple spoonfuls out of here to help it get rid of some of this fat. The fat won't evaporate, of course. That's why I like using a lean ground beef, because you've got less fat at the end of the day. All right. That's good. Okay, so my oven just beeped. The oven's ready for the casserole. It is going to finish cooking in the oven. Okay, so let's get the bell peppers in. A word about bell peppers. They are a little bit higher in carbs, but they add so much flavor. You just want to make sure you don't add them too soon, because slimy, mushy bell peppers are nobody's friend. So I just throw them in right at the end of the cooking time. All right, so I've added my tomato sauce. Yummy. This is what makes the sauce in the dish. And because it needs a bit of extra flavor help, I've got some Italian seasoning here. I'm going to add a good tablespoon, maybe more, whatever, of Italian seasoning. This cooking is about tasting and getting things the way you like them. It is not an exact science. Most of my recipes can be adjusted to taste. So try them. You know, if you feel like it needs more of this, add some more of that. All right, I'll give it a little taste here, because we do want to make sure there's enough salt in it. That's important. I just eat this, I tell you, it's so good. All right. Now we're going to build our casserole. Casserole pan, it's about 8 by 8, but really anything that'll hold this pile of goodness is what you need. All in there like that. Yum. Just smooth it out. You don't want to mash it down, but you do want to kind of even Steven. There you go. Pop those bell peppers down a little bit. Yeah, cheesy goodness. I've just got mozzarella cheese. I shred my own to save the little starchy, carby things that they add as anti-caking stuff to the cheese. Plus, it's just cheaper. and I'm a kind of a frugal cook. So save pennies while you can, where you can. And now for the best part, the pepperoni. Why didn't I put the pepperoni inside? There's a great reason for that. This has so much flavor and fat in it. The whole mixture ends up tasting like pepperoni. But when we put them on top, not only do we make it look super cute with the pepperoni on top, but the flavor will stay where it belongs. It's not going to infuse and make our entire dish taste like pepperoni. I love me some pepperoni, but I want to taste the other flavors too. So just on top. That's it. We're going to pop this in the oven until it's bubbly and golden brown on top, and then we're going to dig in. So come on back in a few minutes when I pull this puppy out of the oven. And there we go, guys. Look at that. Hot, bubbly, and delicious. It's got a layer of cheese on there on top. The pepperoni have crisped up on the edges a little bit. And this is some serious flavor in here. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at the cheese. If you don't love cheese, you're in the wrong YouTube channel, let me tell you. And the flavor is out of this world. It's screaming hot at the moment, but it's really delicious. Flavor. Crazy flavor. That's it. That's all it took to make this amazing pizza casserole. I'll drop some helpful links below along with the recipe and ingredients so that you can make it yourself. And don't forget to subscribe. Love my subscribers. Love the comments. Keep them coming. And thanks for hanging out with me today making pizza casserole. Come on back soon.